Well, hello everybody, it's Tanya Jackson here. I'm coming to you today to present some macrame netting technique using our Baker's Twine Essentials pack. So it's $19.75 in the Australian market and comes in grey, black, vanilla, white and crumb cake. Crumb cake's my favourite. In July I presented a layout at convention and at our demonstrator day, and it was going to be a wow. So I used our Baker's Twine in a creative way to make some netting in my layout. I've also used this coral here as a mask for our shimmery texture paste. I've used a little bit of shimmery texture paste on, it might be easy to see on this one, on the blue coral there's a little bit of shimmery texture paste, and then just this netting on both pages. I've added a little bit of colour to the texture paste using our blue brush, and all over the layout I've done a little bit of background stamping. So what I'm coming to show you today is the macrame technique for making this netting. So our twine is amazing for that. I've got 8 threads here that have been looped, so it's four threads that have been looped in half. They're about, I don't know, about 18 inches long, so probably be about a 36 inch strip. I've got 2 bulldog clips holding them, and then I've got a little bit of, you can't see it, but I've got a little bit of foam tape holding the bulldog clips in place. Normally I'd use some blue tack. I can't find it. I've tied it up. So anyway, I don't want the video to be too long, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to start by tying the 2 middle ones together, and I'm going to keep them about an inch apart. So like the threads, the length there is about an inch and a half. It's up to you. If you're doing a small card or something, you do it a bit smaller, a smaller gap. And if you're doing a card, I'd probably only use 4 threads and do just a little tiny one, because you don't want this massive big net on your card. Alright, so I've tied the center one, then I'm going to go across to the next set of pair, and I'm going to knot them about the same level. It doesn't matter how you do your knots, just have a go. Mine are like little granny knots. They get all twisted and messed up, that's okay. So I'm not going to touch this one. I'm going to do the same to my left. Okay, so that's row 1. Now I'm going to start row 2. I'm going to take the very outside one, and I'm going to knot it about an inch below that other one. Doesn't matter if we've got a big gap there, we'll finish that off later and make it look right. Now when you're sticking this down to your layouts, I normally put a little bit of the glue dots, the Stampin' Up! Small glue dots in behind a knot, and just anchor the project in place. So use as many or as few as you like. They seem to work for me. You could also get away with glue if you want, but you just have to hold it there for a bit. Going across to my next pair. Are you keeping up with me? You can go back and watch this as many times as you like. I'm not tying the knots very tight either. I'm giving myself the option to pull it apart if I need to. I've tied that one a little bit high, so just pulling down. There you go. So then we'll go back to the start again. We'll pull these 2 ones out, and we can start from the outside and work our way across again. Once I've done this row, I'm going to jump to one I prepared earlier and show you how to finish off the top, which is the same as how I'd finish off the bottom. Basically you finish off the bottom when you run out of threads, and then I just trim the knots off fairly close. Sorry, that's getting confusing. And tighten them, because if they're loose they'll possibly let go. There you go. So you can see that's coming together. How cool is that? They're not even, they're perfectly imperfect. Alright, so I'm going to pull that off. I'm going to go and grab this other one because I've done about 1,000,000 takes of this tonight. Alright, here's one I prepared earlier, and as you can see I haven't knotted the tops. They're just loops at the moment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just cut each set of threads in half. And possibly work upside down because it'll make things easier. You don't, for this you wouldn't have it tied down. So I'm just going to lay my top out. It's entirely up to you what you do. You can trim them off if your threads aren't very long. So trim them off at those little knots, or if your fingers are good, try to knot the short pieces. So if you can always use a pair of tweezers if you're dexterous enough. And I know it's very hard to see. Hang on. I probably should have had that. See, it's not easy for me either. Gotta find my thread. I think that's in. It's easier with some of these longer ones. And you can always do it longer, and then I've got my tongue out. See? So do it longer and then just hold those threads and pull the bottom bit out, and then I've still got my bigger hole. Once you're happy with what you've got, you just, like I said, trim them off. Make sure you've got a good pair of scissors that haven't cut paper. And look at that, I just pulled mine out. Anyway, so that's how you finish that off. Just imagine I didn't cut that out and be too rough. But alright, so I hope you learnt something. Feel free to post questions on my Facebook page under this video and I'll answer them, or whatever you need me to do. Thanks for watching.